Good evening once again here on the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. KMK back with you after a doubleheader at Ohsweken Speedway. 3 races left in the championship: ICAR, CTMP2, and Delaware. Hard to believe that the championship is already coming down to 3 races. 3 races left to go. We'll have Trayton Lapsovich coming up shortly on the show. Regan McCauley is going to be in. We'll break down the races at Ohsweken Speedway, things that we thought maybe needed work, stuff that we would like to see next time, whether or not we're going to see more dirt races in the future. And then, of course, looking at the championship battle, we'll get our predictions for the new layout at ICAR, something that was revealed earlier this week. We don't have an exact announcement yet about a new layout, but that's the hot topic, is that ICAR, we're going to have that. So we'll bring in Regan McCauley and Trayton Lapsovich, who joins us following a couple weeks away. We saw him at right after sunset, and that was, of course, when he got his first one of the season. Now he's got 6 already in the bank. So let's bring on Regan McCauley, and then we'll bring on Trayton Lapsovich. So back here on the show, Regan McCauley is back with us. We're going to talk about Ohsweken Speedway, the 2 races that we just had, but we're also going to bring on Trayton Lapsovich, who, when we spoke last, he had won Sunset, I think, with him. Is the last time we actually had him on the show. He's won 5 more times since then, and is in line for the championship. But some interesting stuff has happened, so we'll definitely talk to him about that. We'll bring him on. He's got to be going through a tour of appearances right now as the winningest driver right now in the series, and he joins us now. Trayton, just saying to Regan here, the last time we spoke, you had won 1 race, and you've won 5 since then. Must be a dream season for you guys so far, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been kind of an unimaginable season for us thus far. I can't believe that the speed that we've had at each track, and I think really I can't think of a better way for it going so far.
It's interesting because, I mean, I put it out there in the Pinty's group, and it wasn't meant to be a slight at all on 22 Racing, but to go from a team that had only collectively 3 wins last year to now, you guys have pretty much, Cameron's the only other driver that's won this year other than 22 Racing. As an organization, it's got to be like you guys are all firing on all cylinders. Tag's got to win. Steckley got up there. Schrader pulled it off a win with you guys, and of course yourself leading the way. What is it about 22 Racing this year that seems like everything's just gelling?
For sure. I mean, 22 Racing, I think, we've had great cars every year that we've gone to the track. We've had great cars every year that we've gone to the track. I think this year just everything's kind of gone right for us. We've it's definitely a competitive field in the NASCAR Pinty Series. So to be able to show up and have the 7 wins as a team, it's really good. So I think for the most part, Scott's got a great crew of guys that are working at the shop and also at the racetrack as well, and I think it all kind of gels it together.
I gotta wonder who gets the cut of the Ohsweken money, because you did double it up 2 years in a row. I think a lot of people maybe weren't expecting to see you up there for both of those races this year. And I had a little bit of trouble. I've got to ask about the lap car deal. That obviously that sucked, and I'm curious how much stuff you threw following the end of that race, because you guys very well could have stepped away with 2 wins at the Ohsweken Dirt races, which would have put you at 7 races won this season, tied DJ Kennington for the most ever in the history of the series. You're stepping on unbelievable ground here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I felt like on Monday we definitely had one get away from us, but kind of tried not to be down on it so much. I mean, when you got a season like we've had going here, you win some, you lose some. If anything, I was happy that Schrader won, if it not be me. So all good there for another 22 racing teammate to win. But yeah, I thought that I gave him lap car enough room. Lap cars were tough all night, and we knew they were going to be just because the nature of the track, the outside was obviously the preferred groove, and the lap cars they don't necessarily have to give you the preferred groove, so that's kind of just how it went. I gave him enough room up there, and looked like he just kind of got in the wall and then ricocheted off it, and I gave him room, but obviously there just wasn't enough room, for a mistake like that to happen. So I think at the end of the day there, we were just happy that we're able to continue going, because at one point there, I was basically almost facing the outside wall. So just kind of happy to save that. I wish the caution would have come out a little bit sooner and we would have been able to retain the lead. But no, I think that's kind of the big thing is you win some, you lose some. We were able to come back Wednesday firing on all cylinders and able to pick one up.
Regan, you got a question for Trayton Lopsovich?
Yeah. Am I good to look forward on the next race? Talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all good. Yeah.
The new layout at Circuit iCar. Now, we've got no ideas really about this. Have you tested it out? Are you looking forward to this? Because really the fans don't know anything about this layout. I don't believe this is something we've had there before.
I haven't got the test, unfortunately. I know a lot of teams have, so we're kind of disappointed. Just the timing didn't quite work out too well, and it's a busy season for sure. Not so much downtime, but no. As far as I'm concerned, I believe it's kind of a mixture of the short configuration that we've been running, and then also the longer configuration that they ran quite a long time ago. I think the last year for that one was like 2016, because I know Caden ran it once, but yeah, it's sort of a mixture of those two. I think we end up the little short stretch. We end up going right on like into the longer configuration, but this time we don't go all the way around like the long configuration did, but we come back up like through the chicane onto the front stretch and stuff like that. So I'm kind of excited for it. I mean, it's nice to have something new. I wouldn't say that iCar has definitely been one of my best tracks in the recent years. We've had some bad luck there, and but excited for a new beginning there.
There's obviously stuff that how we have to talk about coming out of Washougal Speedway. Obviously, points penalty for the team. Penalty that was actually not really posted out there as from the first race. It didn't come out until after the second one. But one of the things that I talked with Regan on just before we came on here was I was really impressed actually with how you handled this, because one of the ways you could go about it is to not say anything. But you guys owned up to it and said, "Hey, we made a mistake." And why did you feel that was important to do?
Well, I think the big thing is there was mistakes made. It wasn't just us, but there was on both sides. So
Mm-hmm.
I did want to say like we're not quite done with it yet. So I don't want to comment on it too much. But no, I think the big thing is um, it didn't really impact our performance at all. It wasn't performance enhancing, and I'm not even sure that we violated the rules at this point. That's why I don't want to say too much. But no, I think it was a good thing to say something, if anything, just to we're not cheaters, and we're not out here doing it intentionally. Just don't want it to look bad on the crew or any of the success that we've had this year. And with that being said, at the end of the day, it is a spring rubber violation, so it's not like it's something that we carry from track to track, or something that we've been could have been doing all year for that matter. So no, I just it's when you make a mistake like that, I think it's important not just to stay quiet about it, but I think there's definitely some things in the works.
It's good to hear, honestly, because one of the things that I think we hear too much about is, oh, this is cheating, this is this is that. I want to put it out there that there's a reason why certain penalties are labeled as P1, P2, P3, P4. This is the severity of them. And there's a reason why those calls are made. Whether or not people agree with them, that's the decision that was made. Ultimately, this wasn't really a huge factor. It's a loss of 6 points. You guys are in a pretty steady lead for the championship. 3 races remain. Pretty good at Delaware, CTMP. Do you have those still? We've got to be full bore. We're not points racing. We're just going to try and go out and win. Or are you in protective mode for the last 3?
Well, I think there's kind of a point where you got to go between racing for points and racing for wins. I think as a driver, you kind of know when you can be racing for a win. And I think, Schwegen, the first night was, we might have been racing for points just up until or after we got into it with the lap car. At that point, we were just trying to save everything we could. But, we come out Wednesday and we had a fast car. I think there's no doubt that we had the best car on the property. And I think at that point on the back of your mind is, we are racing for a win here tonight. And there's no doubt about that. But so, yeah, I think it all kind of ends up on the day of the race, kind of see how we are on Saturday. Obviously, the big picture is the championship. So always just looking to finish in the top 10, maybe get some top 5s. But, when you can race for a win, it's always a good thing.
Let's talk about Glenn and what Glenn Stiers has done for you this year is fantastic. It wasn't something that we talked about originally when you had you on at the beginning of the year, but he has stepped up a ton to join your other partners this year and made it so that you could make the entire season. How are things looking for the rest of the year? Are you guys good to go in terms of sponsorship and heading into potentially next year?
It's pretty cool. Just got a big shout out to Glenn for coming on board and, joining, like you said, our great group of partners. Always great to have the support of FBM, Delta Bingo, and the whole, the RGC group for also supporting me this whole time. So, great group of people. Always thankful for my supporters and, with these supporters that we have, we are able to finish out the season. So it's always good, especially when we're having a season like we are. But yeah, I can't really say enough about Glenn's support as well. It's been really cool these past few months. Not only helping me on the Pinty side, but also getting me in a sprint car here. We had our new GSR chassis out also on the same day as the Pinty's race too. So that was a lot of fun getting some experience on kind of the other side. I've been telling people they're asking me if the sprint car really helps for the Pinty's race on dirt or if it did help, and the answer is no. So it's cool that just trying the different atmosphere of things on the dirt and then also being able to bridge it onto the asphalt as well.
You doing more dirt racing next year?
Hopefully. I think we're gonna kind of try and see what the schedule allows, especially for the end of this year. I kind of just racing out of Schwegen whenever we are able to around the Pinty schedule. So hopefully be able to get out once or twice before the season's out. And then I'm sure we'll carry that on to next year as well.
There's one more thing I've got to ask before we wrap it up with you, Trayton, and we get into our race reviews with Regan McCauley. But Trayton, one of the things that I know I really want to see is brother versus brother. Are we ever going to be able to get Caden to come on up and race against you in the Pinty series? Maybe we just get brother versus brother for at least one race this year.
It's definitely not going to be this year, I'll say that, but maybe sometime in the future.
Well, who wins?
I think there's a lot of factors there.
Oh, I think you're cheaping out on the answer, but Trayton Lapsevich, thank you so much, buddy. I know you obviously you've been really busy this year, racking up the wins, but we're big supporters of you here on the show, and it's been a while since we've seen an Ontario driver leading the championship in the NASCAR Pinty series. It's been a long time. It feels like maybe since DJ, Jason Hathaway, I guess back in 2020 with the abbreviated season, but you're doing us proud and we really appreciate you coming on and chatting with us for a couple minutes.
Thanks guys. Thanks for having me on.
And keep building up those trophies in the background.
Yeah, he's doing that pretty good. Thank you, Trayton.
Thanks guys.
So Trayton Lapsevich, man,
he just never stops. Just never stops.
6 wins.
You were mentioning about the Quebec thing too. He He's over 5 other Quebec drivers. Right behind him, Kennington's 7th. Like that's a crazy difference.
Very much. And I mean, we'll go straight into like the race reviews for Ohsweken Speedway. I'll be honest. I had a lot of people, I think, that were really, I won't say that they were harping on it, and I wouldn't harp on these. I think that it's a race that still needs tailoring. I think maybe that the separation with the rain hurt it. Based off of people that were there, they had said that it didn't seem like the crowd came back for Wednesday, and that's very possible. I think maybe what people did is they booked vacation for the Monday, Tuesday to return home on Wednesday, and instead they weren't able to stay on the Wednesday. We actually lost one of the cars, Mike Gowdy, who was involved with Trayton Lapsevich on that wreck the day before, was not able to make the call on the Wednesday. Ken Schrader pulls off the win on the Monday, 68 years young. And ultimately, I did get this sorted out by, I believe it was by Keith Temple, did confirm that technically he isn't the first American to win because Trayton and Caden Lapsevich hold dual citizenship. But I'm going to say Kenny is a full American. So we'll say he is the first full American, at least in the NASCAR Pinty series. In CASCAR, obviously, Andy Farr was a multi-time winner. There's some other American drivers, I believe, that had won previous to that. I'm going to ask Regan. Obviously, we're on G-Force TV, so we love what Glenn and Clinton have put together, and we love that we got to see. I love that I get to see the heat races on G-Force TV. And you know what? I love that I got to see practice on G-Force TV. I'm not going to go off on a tangent about TSN or about the broadcasting, but for myself, I like getting to see those types of sessions. Like I like qualifying, especially qualifying. I'm a huge time trials guy. I love seeing those. But the switch from G-Force to TSN Plus / Flow, it kind of hurt it.
Yeah, I completely agree on that.
I kind of feel like if we got the whole thing on just one place, and I understand that like that's broadcasting rights, that is that's determined way above our pay grade. That is contracts, that's smart people, not us. But at the end of the day, one of the complaints that we had from people was the accessibility.
I didn't like there's the regular TSN subscription. They did have the free preview for TSN Plus, which definitely helped. But I didn't like the fact that whenever I learned that the free preview was done, I went on to check it myself, and it said I had to pay separately. I wasn't a fan that I had to pay extra money for that. Yeah, but again, there's only like what now, like just over a month left in the season, so it's not that.
There's 3 races, but
it's not that big of a deal.
That was my sell, though. Yeah, that was my sell. I am not going to pay another, what is it, $8? Another $8 for 3 races. Like
for me, in my situation,
do you already have them as a cable subscription though? Do you already have TSN for cable?
I do, yes, but I had to pay it on the TSN Plus again. So
I already have TSN as a cable subscription, and because I am with Rogers, I actually have to pay more to get TSN. So now, on top of that, I would need to buy another subscription for TSN Plus. As I'm already paying a certain amount. So as somebody that's doing that, as a normal race fan, I see a lot of people complaining about this. So having G-Force as an alternative, it was great.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know in my situation it was fine, but I mean, there's only a couple of races left. It's only a few bucks. It's whatever. But for a whole season, no. In your situation is a lot more frequent with a lot of people, especially over where you're at. And I think even my region would be true as well, which that doesn't help. That's not good.
No, and that's one of my worries. As obviously a Pinty's fan, I want to see as much racing as possible. this hurts it. It really does. Like, I love that they did the free preview. That was great. But
Yes.
3 races left and we don't have it anymore. Or actually, technically it was 5 races left because it was before the 2 Oshweekend races.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that hurts the product and it deters people from watching it because it's another subscription service that they have to have. Now,
Yeah.
I'll say, obviously, we love the people at TSN for putting on our shows, for having the broadcast. But to me, Flow Racing seems to be the much better deal because at least you can watch everything back. I don't know if you can watch everything back with TSN Plus. I don't believe.
I don't think you can, no, but it feels so awkward because, like, at least we do have someone that actually does take the time to broadcast the races. There might be issues. They do happen, but they put in a lot of effort to get that stuff done.
They're so good.
Yes, they are good. It's just the way it's put out. This is so awkward.
This is basically what people will need to remember is this is essentially what NBC does.
Yeah.
So NBC has their main group of stuff that they put out, but then they have Peacock where you have to go to get the other additional content.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what this is that the Pinty series is now put kind of as the additional content for TSN. Do I think that that's helping or hindering? Obviously, I think it's hurting. I don't think it's helping at all. I think we were just getting to a certain rhythm of getting people used to it because there's still a lot of people who have no idea how to access the Pinty series broadcast. There's a lot of people going, well, we need it on TSN on cable. Well,
and with Flow Racing too, don't you need to like buy that little like yearly subscription or whatever?
Yes.
Like that's the only way.
Yes, but this is where it attracts me more to that because you can get all sorts of like you can get the modifieds, you can get tracker, like that. I'm excited for because I want to see like weekly short track racing that I couldn't really elsewhere. Obviously I love the format with GeForce. I would if it were me, obviously I know I have people that say, oh, it needs to go on GeForce. People have to remember contracts are put in place for a reason and they're signed. Joel and his whole team, like you said, they put in a hell of an effort to put the broadcast together live, and then they do the tape delay.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of just one team can do this. It is literally one group of people that does the entirety of it. And like they do such a good job promoting our series, such a good job to make what little time that they really have. I mean, an hour-long broadcast is not very long to showcase the Pinty series when they could theoretically do the whole race. Like it is tough. People have to remember racing is not, it's just not going to be over hockey. It's not going to be over basketball or soccer. It just isn't. In our country, we have a niche market. I think the fact that we get as much content as we do for the Pinty series is a luxury.
How else was I supposed to make my videos?
Yeah, exactly. And we've gotten 200 races out of this during this format. Now, I actually think that we're getting better and better because we didn't have live, and this is the biggest thing that people need to remember. A couple of years ago, we didn't have any live video. Nothing.
Yeah.
We were late to the party there. Now we've got it. For the most part, this year, I think the only place that I've had some sort of issue with the telecast was Eastbound. That was the only place that we had. And if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't the whole race. It was sections of it where it just got really fuzzy and hard to follow. But that was it.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, there. I recall one other race where it would just go boop, 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 boop. Like it would just go on and off.
Sunset, maybe.
Yeah, it was Sunset because like it was on and off throughout the whole race, and then it was like the final 20 laps where it was just. Well, thank God it was the final 20 laps. It was just in time, ironically.
Yeah,
but that race was just like. Poop, 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 poop.
I think I can't remember because again, I was at Sunset, so I didn't actually watch.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I believe I remember seeing people comment on the page about that. So, and I mean, that happens. I mean, one of the things that I've talked actually with the broadcast team about is one of the challenges that they have, and it is cell service.
Yeah.
People using their phones interrupts the signal with them trying to broadcast. So the more and more people are on their phones at the racetrack, the more and more it interrupts everything.
Ban phones.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't think that's happening anytime
Try
soon.
that, yeah.
I'm excited actually for a new layout for iCar. I am not going to mix words here. I do not like this racetrack. I haven't liked it in a long time. Please let this be interesting. Now, there was a good post put in the community page because I'm going to say his name is Olivier. I hope I'm right. But he posted what changes are being made for the race at iCar, and he used an advertisement for the Nissan Sentra Cup, who will also be there, and has the layout. And on the other side of it too, he posted a photo, and to me, to me, it is Olivier Delorme. I'm like, this is trouble waiting to happen. So I'm gonna share that right now. So we've got this beautiful Esses right here.
What in the heck?
So I definitely I'm like, I'm so worried because if somebody goes off, they're going straight into those tires there. But
what kind of Charlotte Roval turn thing is this?
I'm like, this will be crazy with these Pinty's cars.
Oh no.
Because I think they turn better than the Nissan Sentra Cup cars do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's dangerous. So let's just take a quick look at it's going to be a very small image. You can't really see it very, very well, but I'll try a little bit harder. So this is the circuit that we're talking about. This is the layout that they're using. Now this, I don't remember them ever racing something like this. So,
well, as long as it's better than last year, that's all that matters.
I think having a layout like this will make it interesting because it's new, it's fresh, and no one can. Kevin Lacroix can't. Well, he could. I say he can't destroy everybody. Well, he very well could destroy everybody. Still.
Well, and then there's Andrew Ranger. Well, we all know how his season's going.
But one of the tracks that he's really good at is Circuit Icon.
That's the thing. But then the new layout is just like, So
the other side of it too is, as of right now, last year we had 23 at Icon.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like what, 27, 28 now.
So theoretically we're looking at, I have 28 listed. I think we'll be around 24.
That's
because
fine.
I don't have confirmations, but I know Herbie Drescher's confirmed, Dave Corsall is confirmed, Sam Fellows and Jacques Gannett Sr. is all confirmed. So that still leaves JF LeBerge, the 98, which has been piloted by Strawn and Daryl Timmers, and then Matthew Scannell. Now, Scannell did not race a GP3R. I don't expect that they're going to race here unless they do have some sponsorship. The 98 is a toss-up. I really don't know. They have made every race this year, except for the ones out west. So those are the kind of the only question marks that I really have. And JF LeBerge, I think, would be somebody that would participate in this. This is also just my take on it. I don't know whether or not there's additional names that we haven't an idea of. Justin Arsenault, he's from this facility. He knows this facility left, right, and center. He was also quite good at GP3R. So he's somebody else that I think we'd look at. Obviously, we've got to talk about Cameron being up front. Our picks have kind of been all over the place. We were close. Well,
I think I had a gut feeling for Schrader, but I'm just like,
yeah, but I can't remember who.
Damn it.
I don't think I picked anybody that won, though.
I think we both got Lapsevich. We both, or Cameron?
We picked him to, well, I think I picked Cameron, and he didn't have a great race.
We flipped.
In either one, actually. He didn't actually have a good race in either of them.
No.
So iCar is a little bit harder because I feel it's way more of a crapshoot. But as we talk about, we do we have somebody that we think is going to struggle, and of course I did awful on that too. Because Malcolm didn't really struggle. He was at the back, but he didn't have a hard
For
time.
dirt standards, like his standard,
Pretty
like
good.
dirt standards, his standards, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. So we'll go with the winner prediction, underdog winner prediction, who we think might struggle.
Are you turning into me or taking a while?
I know, because you know what? As an underdog, I will pick Justin Arsenault.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I think
that's
he
fair.
He was impressive last year, and I really like the paint scheme. Actually, if he goes back with the 40-40 Laval color, that was a really nice looking car at GP3R. To win, I'm gonna go Alex Guinnett. He did really well last year at iCar, and I kind of need to pick somebody off the board. I don't think Trayton will be the one to win at iCar. It's not his type of track. Lacroix would be the easy choice. To struggle, I am going to say it's going to be Lapsevich. I think it will be, because
hey, Trayton, thanks for coming on the interview, but we think you're going to suck.
I didn't say that. I think there might be some struggles.
No, suck's not the word. That's a joke. Relax.
Yeah. But a part of me wants to go Dumoulin as
underdog.
No, I shouldn't have said Guinnett so quickly. I was just saying. No, you know what? I've already made the pick. So, so underdog pick, Justin Arsenault. Winner is going to be Alex Guinnett.
Okay. And
somebody who I think might struggle this week, and he said it's not his best track. So I'm going to say Trayton Lapsevich, which could mean he maybe runs 8th, 9th, 10th,
or wins,
or he completes. Yeah, he completely does something completely different. Yeah.
So my turn.
Yes.
Okay. For an underdog, I'm stuck between Kingsbury and Bois.
Oh, yeah, Daniel, actually, this is his type of circuit.
What's Kingsbury like again?
So Matthew is not actually a road course racer primarily. He's more of a short track racer out at Chaudière. I think he mostly does.
I'll pick Daniel Bois then.
Now, I'm not saying that Kingsbury hasn't been good on the road courses.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go Daniel Bois. No, I think I had more of the edge on Bois there, anyways. For a struggler, I could just straight up go, yeah, Angel Ranger, sure, but Or knowing that Kevin Lacroix has dominated this track, but knowing we're on a new layout, I could take a risk here. Jeez. There's so many names. You just got to pick one, but then you can't.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what it's like here in the Pinty series, folks. You already picked Lapsevich for that.
Yep.
So you know what? Screw it, Kevin Lacroix. Hate me all you want. Maybe I'm gonna see if the new. I want to see if the new layout does kill off his, recent dominance in years. Yeah, I want to see if that happens.
Yeah. Like the last 2 years, he's been lights out. No one's been close.
Yeah. But again, new layout. I'm interested. But at the same time, though, he's a guy where either he will straight up dominate or he'll just be not even noticeable.
That's what makes me wonder, because the last couple races, like he did well at Oshweekend.
Yes.
He did well there last year, though. So what we kind of need to see is where he will be in these upcoming 3 races.
Yeah.
They're not going to win the championship this year. But there's here at ICAR, I kind of feel a couple of guys have an advantage. LP Montour has a bit of an advantage because he'll be racing in the Nissan. I believe he's in the Nissan Sentra or Cup Series, if I'm not mistaken, or he does SCC. So he's used to running those really, really tight racetracks.
Yeah.
So I would say that he's going to be somebody. I mean, Brendan Watson is somebody else I'd say could very well struggle. He's kind of. I've been really upset about how the 9 car has been this year, and I'm guessing it's just a sophomore slump. It feels just like Trayton Lapsevich after his rookie season, where last year, he wasn't bad. But look how he is this year.
I picked the guy to finish second in the standings, but then I never thought of the damn sophomore slump. So maybe it'll be next year where I don't even have him on the podium or the top 5, and then he'll destroy the field.
Is it a slump, or is it the series is just that much more competitive this year?
Both. The competitiveness makes the slump happen.
Yeah. I like seeing Alex Labbe come back.
You know,
I'm excited.
So again, Kevin Lacroix struggles. Underdog is Daniel Bois. And for the new layout, just knowing how experienced Alex Labbe is, and just, knowing again how he's been up in the Xfinity series, just Labbe is straight up a guy where we are on a new layout, but remember last year, he started from somewhere in the back.
I think
if there had been second to last, I think it was.
Yeah.
If there had been more laps, and if Lacroix wasn't as dominant, he very well, I think, could have gotten the win.
I agree with you.
Had the fast. Lacroix did have the fastest car, but
yes,
I would argue LeBay had the fastest car.
I would also argue, though, that Alex Gannett did exactly the same as Alex LeBay. But that's what we're talking about here, is that people are able to come through the field. Somebody else I think we haven't talked about, Sam Fellows. Sam Fellows is also really, really good on these types of circuits. Now, maybe didn't have the best result at GP3R, probably still getting used to their own team, but
yeah,
he confirmed he's racing. And I love seeing this. I think Cameron will be better. I think they had one of their worst weekends. It wasn't even during a weekend, but the dirt races were their worst performance all season. I don't think they finished in the top 10 either race. He was lapped in the second. I'd have to check on that first race. I think maybe he may have finished in the top 10 then.
Oh no, he got fifth in the first race.
So he was, but he wasn't. He wasn't competitive. He wasn't in the top 5. He was in the top 10 the whole race, if I'm not mistaken.
He started poorly, but he somehow managed to salvage something because there was, some chaos going on. There were a lot of cautions, and there was a 19 lap green flag run at the end that did, help out because a lot of guys were jostling back and forth. There was a lot of 3 wide, but then only 13th in the second race, which that right there that one was the bad one.
The question remains: 6-point penalty to Trayton Lapsevich. It's a 2-horse race right now. Points over 100 towards the back of the top 10, 72 to third place, 45. I believe that's even with the penalty. That was even with the -6. So it was up to minus 51 points. To me, get into 50-point territory, that's pretty safe. But you have to be successful in these next 2. Because I said 28, if they go out on that first lap, Regan, and they have a failure, like a transmission on the first lap, and Cameron goes out and wins, there's 28 positions worth of difference there in points. So you can make those. What Trayton really just needs to do, fire off top 10s. That's it.
Just finish. Bring the car home clean. Because if Lapsevich would need to have catastrophic circumstances to hit him in all the next 3 races. And Cameron probably would have to win.
And he would have to, yes, he would have to win leading all the laps, win the pole. Like he'd have to do. It just doesn't seem like the Paye team has that this year. Obviously, you've got that on either side. You've got accusations flying back and forth between fan bases. Kills it for me as a fan. Absolutely kills it. I hate hearing that. Whether stuff is happening or whether it's not up to us as fans. It's up to the tech people to find it and catch it and give penalties. But LP Dumoulin, for as crappy of a start to a season as he's had, he's up to fourth and I mean, he's been the most quiet this whole season, and he's fourth in the point standings.
Well, he's that kind of guy where he'll just straight up win a championship, and it just kind of, for some people, like it feels forgettable. He's just that guy that just goes out and he just, gets done. Like it feels like Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah,
to me, he's a Martin Truex Jr.-esque driver to me.
Yeah,
he'll just go out and get the job done.
And it's been his two championships kind of came with such, he came in, dominated, won the championship, won the championship, but they were
just
years apart. And now he's still rebuilding from that. I think JP Bergeron, coming off of his best career finish, he's somebody that I think we should keep our eyes on because he's getting confident.
And Larry Jackson is over Brandon Watson, Dexter Stacey, Andrew Ranger, Thomas Naveau.
And by all accounts, Larry Jackson should not even be in that top 10.
No, he shouldn't.
But he is, because consistency matters.
He does not. Brandon Watson, Dexter Stacey, and Andrew Ranger all have a combined 4 top 5s. And I think for top 10s, that would be 15. He's got only 4 top 10s, no top 5 finishes, and yet he's somehow still 9th.
You've got to love that for a guy who he cold called O'Neill Electric. That's how he got that partnership.
Yeah.
And I love seeing Captain Larry have that success. He's filming commercials. He's getting top 10 finishes, running a full season. It's fantastic news. Obviously, we'll head to CTMP following ICAR for the Labor Day sprints, potentially looking like another 27 to 28 cars out at CTMP. And then Delaware, I'm not 100% sure where we're looking in terms of car counts. It very well could be around the 24 to 26 again. Solid way to end the season. I mean, not a race with I think we've had 1 or 2 races with 18 cars being the lowest. 3 races with 18 cars. That's the lowest. Unbelievable. Fantastic for this series. And we really don't know what's going to happen next year. We don't know if there's new names coming in. We have no idea. But I like what I'm seeing. I think we expect that the Brandon McFarlane and Josh Collins racing teams, we expect them a little bit more. They should be at Delaware. So be nice to see them back because it's been a while.
Now, speaking next year, we're talking about drivers, but the schedule too. A big question that I have to you, and maybe I guess I'll answer it myself as well. Weekend doubleheader, yes or no?
I have no insider knowledge about this, but I personally think it wasn't supposed to be a doubleheader originally.
Yeah.
I think Granby was supposed to happen because when they originally did the press release for the schedule, they had a video that they put out, and the schedule at the end of the video included Riverside and included Granby. Now, neither of those happened. So I think that maybe it was originally supposed to be Ohsweken and then Granby, like back to back, like do the dirt races together. I don't think that we're going to get it next year. I don't think we're getting doubleheader at Ohsweken if Granby is happening.
Yeah, because I think only one race at Ohsweken is fine in my opinion. Like the presentation of it, when Clinton and Yole and all them were doing, it was absolutely fantastic. The hype heading into the however many days it was, like I think it was 5 or something with all the other racing divisions and such. Outstanding. Like GeForce TV did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But if I had to be honest, I didn't fully enjoy the races. Either one, I didn't fully enjoy them. I thought there was just a little bit too much going on. The TSM Plus thing didn't really help at all, but I mean, I was able to see both of them, which was fine, but it just, something didn't feel right.
I think at the end of the day, one of the things that I would have liked to have seen is, and I know logistical reasons probably aren't, there's reasons why. I would have liked to see what the Friday crowd would look like. I know that they're doing the Monday and Tuesday for specific reasons, but I'm just on the curious side of like who else could have showed up if we did it on a Friday. I know there's a lot of competition and that makes it difficult, but I felt like we had a lot more hype last year. And I don't know if it was the hype from the series wasn't as high this year. I thought they did a great job. Whether people like the racing or they don't like the racing, based off of the pools, a lot of people did. But again, a lot of people are also turned off by this or turned off by that. So it's kind of a hard one to judge. I'm not going to go out and say that I love stock car racing on dirt. I just never, I don't really find it as interesting. Do I like them at Oshweekend? I do. I think it's an interesting concept.
Like
at the end of the day, though, do I want to see it multiple times a year? No.
Yeah. I thought it was fun, but just the drivers, I thought, gave it a little too much. Like, I know you even were talking to me like drivers being told to take it easy, but
yeah, I also I don't want the series to be relying on Ken Schrader or Stuart Friesen.
Oh yeah.
These guys are good enough. We don't need the big name stars. I would like to see us more like the Dave Baileys, the local guys. Like I like that. I think that's a good thing for them. But
I mean, they did well too.
Absolutely. I think Christopher Bell not happening last year took a lot of the wind out of the sails, because I think a lot of people were looking forward to that. Jake Sheridan made it a little, and maybe that's part of it, is that was the story last year, is Jake coming in and then Trayton outlasting Stuart Friesen. I don't think the races didn't really have those types of feels to them this year, because I think we saw both days is that the driver that was up front really didn't have much competition, really, and that I think was the big story. So do I want to see 2 next year dirt races? Not really, but I'm all for seeing one or the other. I think one in Quebec and one in Ontario is solid.
That's fine.
Would I rather see Montreal? Yes. Would I rather see Riverside? Yes.
Well, that's the thing with Montreal as well. With iCar now going on a new layout, I remember whenever I made the race review video last year, it was basically a case of great restarts, but the racing was so average, like so mediocre.
Yeah.
And I was just like, has Circuit iCar completely lost itself? And now knowing that there's a new layout,
well, I'm excited.
Does that change everything? Because the most popular thing I would assume is, if you try to put Montreal in the schedule, you have to take a track out, which the most popular one to take out would be probably iCar. But now knowing there's a new layout, we might have to be a little patient here and halt the brakes a little.
I almost wonder if we add a 15th race.
That too, yeah.
So, because I look at this and go, 14 is good, but to me, 15 sounds even better. Now, I don't know if the series can handle it. I don't know if the competitors can handle it. At the end of the day, it is a long stretch.
I would say for next year, for the amount of talks that there have been about next year and everyone, trying to hype up to next year, and most drivers, we're seeing there's not as much presence of certain guys like Gary Kloop, for example, McFarlane, Collins, and such this year. But next year, there's that. Everyone has had that feel. You and I equally have had that feeling that 2024 is like the year,
where
we're really gonna get stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I know when Tony first came on and he spoke with us at the beginning of the season, he was really putting a lot of stock into getting the schedule out in the summertime. The problem is that we can't get our schedule out before the Cup Series does. That's just that the Cup Series wants their schedule out, so it's really hard for our series to do that. However, I feel like when we don't hear stuff, it would make me think that they're working extremely hard on next year already. I know that there's a lot of complaints going on about certain things, about certain people, about certain competitors. That takes a lot of stock in the eyes of people at NASCAR. I think people really look at it and go, "Oh, these guys don't know what they're doing. This happens and this happens." I think NASCAR International and the NASCAR Pinty Series, people don't have any idea how clued in those at the top really are. They're always checking in on social media. They're always looking in. They're watching shows like this. They're checking people's comments on social media. They're going into the group and seeing stuff. I wouldn't be shocked if some of the stuff that people are saying does get to them and they try to improve because of it. I don't have any doubt. Regan, we could go on for hours and hours and hours about the Pinty Series, but we're looking forward to iCar. I can't believe I'm saying that. We're looking forward to iCar and the Vyram 125 at 5:30 Eastern time. Now I'm out at a racetrack on Saturday, so I'm not going to be able to catch the live.
Same
race.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, so we're busy working men within the racing scene, but we'll obviously be getting our updates, checking in on all the social media. Make sure you go follow the NASCAR Pinty Series. Caitlin Patrick does, man, she is so good. So many videos she's posting, short clips, interviews. So make sure that you guys follow them because that's the go-to for all the social media updates. But how can people follow along with you on your social media?
Yeah, Rigs are at YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. You can find me at Regan McCauley on Facebook. I'm helping in the NASCAR Pinty Series. I'm doing more Atlantic Canada coverage for the Stickers and Scuffs podcast as per usual. You can find more of my work with the Oysterbed Speedway on their social media platforms, a super late model series as well. We just had our 5th of 6 races for the inaugural season this past weekend. Speedway 660 was an absolute thriller. We had our first football season, so that was definitely something, but we got another dramatic finish as per usual. And yeah, the finale is not for another month. September 30th. September 30th at Petty International Raceway, Riverglade, New Brunswick. So yeah, we're hard to believe the season's flown by. Season finale is coming up in just over a month. So yeah, everywhere I just said there, just follow me along with everywhere I just said, and just continuing to, do whatever we can to keep the racing topic going on and on, keeping the energy going. Atlantic Canada, here with the Pinty Series. It's all we want to do, and we're doing a hell of a job.
You absolutely are. Make sure you go to check out Razor's YouTube channel. It's got a brand new one up there for 200 races, 200 moments. I believe one of my favorite things was hearing how many times Adam Ross says, "Oh," when it's perfectly cut, I believe is what you said, right? Perfectly cut.
Perfectly cut screams, yes.
Perfectly cut screams.
Such perfect humor, not.
That's Regan McCauley here on the Power Hour. Let me make sure my microphone gets turned on this time. Lots of stuff to talk about with Regan McCauley from Oshweek, obviously we want to hear about from you. Leave some comments. Rick says in the comments he was there, great to be there. Not sure the drivers liked a 2-race event. Last year was the first time, which definitely that's true. Why it deserved a lot more hype. Jim definitely has got the. Does like G-Forces. They have the races before the Pinty's races. That he does like that they have that the races before. There was 10 times plus more racing on TV than when I had a kid. They only had the 3 big networks. So that's definitely a key point. But episode 55 of the Power Hour is in the books. Unbelievable. We head to episode 56 next week following the race at Circuit Icar. Then we get ready for Labor Day sprints with the NASCAR Pinty Series at CTMP for their second race there. And then we wrap it all up at the Fall Brawl at Delaware Speedway, where potentially Trayton Lapsovich could win the NASCAR Pinty Series championship. He's got to hold off Marc-Antoine Camirand and Paillet Racing in the final 3 events of the season. Will somebody else win a race other than 22 Racing and Paillet Racing this year? The question was posed, and it was really actually close. It was between 50-50 about what most fans said in the NASCAR Pinty Series group. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. If you can't, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment. We really appreciate it. Subscribe to GeForce TV. This weekend, coming up on the 26th, you will have the APC Series at Sauble Speedway as they get for their second to last race in that championship. Joe Lawrence back in the championship battle. Kyle Steckley up near the front of that battle as well. Some of the names we look forward to seeing. J.R. Fitzpatrick battling up at the front of the championship still. Danny Benedict was up there as well. We are looking pretty good as we move forward. Actually, Rick, we're going to see that number 22 at CTMP and at Delaware. Kyle Steckley is going to be doing CTMP and Delaware. So we're looking pretty good for the field in the upcoming races. So definitely lots of fun, lots of great stuff. A champion will be crowned in the next month here on GeForce TV. We want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out Race Rivals Race Chat tomorrow with Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross. They'll definitely break down all of the racing at Ohsweken Speedway. They look forward to the APC Series at Sauble. We will catch you all next week here on the Power